arrangement is indicated in the letter of agreement.
Okay.
So each situation is a little different, unique.
Now, if you talked about hourly, how could I take advantage of using an hourly rate?
There are many designers that will work on an hourly basis and others that don't.
Mm-hmm.
And what I feel is that good design is available at any price.
Mm-hmm.
So you may have this huge house to do, or you may just have a small apartment, but that doesn't mean you can't have a designer work with you. You may just need consulting on color, lighting, a little bit of furniture, or you may be doing an addition, a renovation, new construction. You just address that to the designer, you decide if you can work together,
mm-hmm.
and then you move forward and you'll have good results.
Oh, good. So, because that's something that's always intimidated me. Like, well, I don't know that my project's big enough. Because like you were saying, you know, a little insight or instruction on this and that and the other, the lighting, the colors, the furniture placement, could be really, really helpful for me.
Exactly.
And then maybe if I'm able to grow and have a relationship with that person, then maybe they could come back and do more. You know,
exactly.
and so on and so
It
forth.
doesn't all have to be done at the same time. No, just never be afraid. Don't be afraid to speak to designers, to get information, and find out if this could be a working relationship.
Okay, now you talked about a budget. How can I come up with a realistic budget for my room to kind of present?
Well, there's a couple of ways of working with that. I mean, a lot of times people have an idea. I'm putting an addition on my house, and I've allotted $200,000 to do this addition. Mm-hmm. Or I need a sofa, and I need to paint, and I have $10,000 to spend. You have a range, but you can sit down with a designer and say, you know, I'm thinking of doing this, this, and this, and I'm thinking of having this amount of money do that. What is your feeling on it? Mm-hmm. So between a professional and yourself, you can come up with a reasonable budget.
And get an idea there, not only what that budget is, but what you expect to do with that budget. Because you might have a budget of $10,000, you might have a budget of $50,000, depending on how that money's spent. You could end up with a $50,000 couch.
Or an antique. You know, I have to ask you, do you want reproductions, do you want antiques? All of these things are going to affect the budget. So you really need to understand what they're looking for, you know, and that's why you need to have a lot of communication.
Now this all sounds great. But talk to me a little bit about the value of having an interior designer.
Well, I think an interior designer brings to a project a wide range of experiences and education. There are lighting resources, furniture resources at their availability.
When you say resources, how is that different than, you know, I've got a store down the street that sells furniture to me?
Well, you know, most of the time we have resources that are to the trade only, that you have no access to. Plus the fact that we do this all the time, we have just a wealth of information. I have resources on the West Coast, in Europe, you know,
and relationships
in the South.
That you've built.
Exactly. And the other thing, too, is we have the ability to see a project and really understand what it's going to entail. For example, you're renovating a bathroom. There are stages to doing that. We floor plan, we choose plumbing fixtures, we choose tile, we lay the tile out. There are moldings, there are details that have to be addressed. Mm-hmm. And then the other thing that a designer can help you with is the staging or the planning of the project. I don't like going into a project unless everything is decided. Then you start the construction and there's no holding up of the project. So the designer can help you not only with choices that you'd never have an opportunity to have exposure to, but they can work with you on scheduling a project, which is really kind of important, and really saving you costly mistakes.
Wow. So if, you know, we're talking about unique relationships that you're building with your designer, whether they're doing the shopping, whether you're doing the shopping, whether there's a lot of different ways to be able to work with that. Exactly. And there's different people out there, so that planning everything ahead of time, if that's what makes you comfortable, is something that you can do and know all of that before you begin the work.
Any project I think you tackle is overwhelming if you haven't done it before. So if you can take advantage of someone who does this, I mean, there are things that...
Especially when you're working with elements in your home that you're stuck with.
Well, exactly. And there's no reason you have to throw everything out.
Yeah,
you know?
And that's a good thing to know, too. Now, just one final question before we go that I've always wondered is, what is the difference between an interior designer and a decorator?
Okay. Well, an interior designer is trained with education and work experience. I'm NCIDQ qualified designer. I'm a certified interior designer. I have the appellation of ASID, American Society of Interior Designers, after my name. So I have the qualifications to deal with issues beyond choosing paint, beyond choosing window treatments. There's universal design, there's green design. It's education to deal with all aspects of a project, you know, construction aspects of a project.
Areas of construction and things like that, as opposed to just the way the room is decorated.
Right.
Okay.
So it's starting a project from initiation through completion.
Inception to completion.
Exactly.
Well, excellent. Thank you so much, Tere, for answering my questions.
You're
I know there are other people out there who are wondering the same thing. I know there were, and now I got those questions answered, so thank you.
Oh, you're so welcome. Thank you for the interview.
Oh. Well, you have to stick around because you know